Malaysia can be categorized as one of the developed countries in the world, where we can see it through the economic growth of Malaysia. Even Malaysia can be categorized as one of the developed countries in the world, but nowadays we can see Malaysia faces some problem that cannot be inevitable, where it's regarding to environmental problems such as environment sustainability, pollution, deforestation, and so on. Okay, one of the environmental problems that frequently happen in Malaysia is pollution. Types of pollution such as air pollution and water pollution are the environmental problem which has always been a hot topic to the media and also to the people. Okay, besides that, there is another pollution that always happen too, but not everyone faces it, which is noise pollution. Noise pollution can be defined as a regular exposure to elevate sound level that may lead to the adverse effect in human and also other living organisms. According to World Health Organization (WHO), the sound level that less than 70 decibels are not damaging living organisms, regardless of how long or consistent the exposure is. Okay, if the exposure more than 8 hours and the noise constant beyond 85 decibels, it's considered as hazardous. Okay, the noise pollution can be occurring due to a variety of situations where, as today's society, that we often fail to even notice it anymore. For example, like street traffic sounds, workplace sounds, constant loud music, household sounds, firecracker and fireworks sounds, and so on. Based on the news article The Star with the title "It's Noisier Than It Used to Be Before" stated that the road traffic noise has risen compared to about 10 years ago, says Prof. Dr. Muhammad Salman Leong, Director Institute of Noise and Vibration in University Technology Malaysia (UTM). The comparison in 10 years can be seen where from 64 decibel in 2010 to 76.4 decibel in 2017. Okay, when at night the expressway become more noisier, where from 57.8 decibel in 2010 to 73.2 decibel in 2017. From that, we can see the different level of sounds between 2010 until 2017 are increasing excessively, especially at night. The increasing of noise probably because of traffic volume and vehicle travelling at higher speeds, and also the increasing in number of heavy vehicles. By the observation from UTM, there are 3 causes of noise pollution in Malaysia today, which are road traffic, construction works, and commercial activities, which also including entertainment activities. Okay, based on the article, it stated that in urban residential area, the acceptable noise level are 65 decibels, where considered as volume of laughter during daytime, and 60 decibels, where considered as volume of normal conversation at night. According to World Health Organization guideline for community noise and the US Environment Protection Agency, they recommend an outdoor ambient noise limit only 75 decibels for safe and for a long-term environment noise exposure. If the exposure is too much, it will affect the environment, and at the same time, it also can affect human in terms of health.
Alright, my name is ROSLAN. I will continue this video presentation with the causes of noise pollution. Right, for the first causes is about transportation. Right, as we know in the city, transportation is the primary sources of the noise and air pollution. Alright, which is include the traffic on the road, which is car, lorry, motorcycles, and others is rail, which is train. Noises is linked about 12,000 early death per year, which is quite high, and according to the EFA. As a result, there is a clear need to improve the transportation and mobility designs and management. It becomes necessary to use a sensor to remotely measure each vehicle's emission for the infrastructure. That's for the transportation. Alright, we continue to the second point, which is second causes. The second cause is industrialization. Alright, plants and factories can contribute to the industrial noises pollution. Right, this can affect those who work in the industrial or those who live nearby it. Right, national, the mechanical, drills, saw, rotating bells, and among other things. All these things can produce a intraudibility, high level of sound, which is can damage our hearing. To avoid the negative consequences of noise pollution, anyone who works with the trees, punch press, and others should wear some protection equipment to avoid the hearing damage. Right, that's for the industrialization. Third causes, which is social event. Right, for these causes, many of us does not familiar with, because all people think it's not a big deal because it relate to the social event, which is in a most social gathering, the level of noises is at all the time high, whether it's a wedding, party, pub, or other place of a worship. However, people selling clothes in the market can be heard creating a loud noise to catch people's attention. This may not appear to be a big deal at first, but it has a long-term effect on the hearing capacity of those who are frequently exposed to the sound. So, even the social event effect is not high to compare with others, but it also has the effect for the long term. This is for the third causes of the noise pollution. Impact of noise pollution. Any undesired or irritating sound that impact the health and well-being of human and other organisms refer to the noise pollution. On a daily basis, millions of people are affected by noise pollution. Loud noise can also lead to the high blood pressure, heart disease, and sleep problem, and also stress. This health issue can impact people all of the age. Wildlife health and well-being are also affected by noise pollution. Noise pollution makes it difficult for them to do these activities, which has impact of their survival abilities. Noise pollution is an increased problem for individuals who live in the ocean and also those who live on land. Excess noises interferes with these marine animals' capacity to communicate, travel, eat, and find mates. This the noise pollution impact for the human and also for the animal and all the organism. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad AZEEM and now I will be presenting about the other country with the same issues. The first one is about United States. According to a report, potentially damaging human-caused noise pollution impact nearly 2/3 of all protected areas in United States, according to Colorado State University and the United States National Park Service. 63% of all protected lands in United States are subjected to manufacture noise from traffic and activities like mining that is at least twice as loud as ambient sound from natural sources such as wind. Increased noise level that can harm wildlife by masking natural noises and interfering with how animal works, along with the well-known risks to human from noise pollution such as an increase of stress and lack of sleep to shorten lifespan. Increased noise level can harm wildlife by masking natural noises and interfering with how animal work, such as how to animal hunt and mate. National park, monument, and refuge were included in the study. According to the study, the most prevalent sound heard outside of metropolitan area were from the autos, aircraft, and resource extraction activities such as mining, logging, and drilling. To map out where human sounds are louder than natural noise created by things like flowing river, researchers use machine learning programs to analyze sources of both human and natural sound, predict how far those sounds would travel, and finally able to map out where human sounds are louder than natural noise. Next, we'll be moving on to the Italy. What peace can be found in Italian metropolis when noises blare out? Confused Italian, old ladies yell at their neighbor, and the worst part is the neighbor yell back. Everyone contribute to noise pollution in Italy. When motor scooters approach, the vibrations are unbearable, and the roads and houses vibrate as well. In Italy, service or commercial operation causes the bulk of noise pollution, which is about 61.4% in 2019, followed by production activities, 26.1%. Airport infrastructure, on the other hand, were responsible for 1% of controlled noise pollution, while activity related to port infrastructure accounted for 0.3%. The Noise Escape Challenge, a collaboration between Amplifon and International Youth Organization (ISAC), was created to research the noise level of Italian cities. Horn at the traffic light, roaring engine on the ring road, scooter rider, and hurried closing door will be the soundtrack. The tram will creak and the police siren will wail. It is all for this reason that Milano has been named as the noisiest city in Italy. Milan, Lecce, and Verona are the noisiest city in Italy with average noise level of 65.31 decibel, 65.24 decibel, and 61 decibel respectively. The difficulty in Italy is that the space is scarce, so the people are forced to live in cramped quarters where they can nearly hear one another's intimate discussion. Last but not least is China. A silent night is a luxury for 25% of Chinese cities, according to a report by China Ministry of Environmental Protection. According to the survey, nearly 92% of 308 cities that assessed noise level last year were within acceptable limit during the day, while 74% were too loud at night. According to the survey, provincial capital had higher reading than lower level city. Experts at Shandong Academy of Environmental Science said noise measuring from 40 to 50 decibel are enough to break deep sleep. Long-term exposure to noises over 60 decibel can affect hearing and may lead to deafness. Noise and poor sleep can also aggravate tinnitus and heart problem. The ambient noise pollution came from variety of sources such as road traffic, train, and commercial services, has become a serious environmental problems in China populous area as a result of fast urbanization and an increase in car ownership. However, in developing countries like China, research on the spatial variation of noise pollution and its possibility consequence on urban dweller mental health has been limited. That's all from me. Thank you.
I am HAIKAL bin Jafree, and I would like to continue with the method to overcome noise pollution. Alright, noise pollution is a matter of great concern nowadays as it can provide dangers to humans. Based on study, long-term exposure to noises can affect the people in the pollution area. This shows that some actions are required to overcome noise pollution in our country. there are many responsible parties that can take action to address this increasingly worrisome issues such as government, citizen, and private organization. Noise pollution is an emergency as it has killed about 1 million people each year. This directly gives challenges to the government in overcome the existence of noise pollution in Malaysia. First, the action can be taken by the government in overcome noise pollution in Malaysia is through the implementation of policies that in controlling the noise in our environment. In fact, this is one of the major approach taken by many countries in overcome noise pollution, as this is the best method to control people by the government. One of the main sources of the noise pollution in Malaysia is road traffic. To overcome this issue, government need to put noise standards forward to reduce noise pollution from the traffic. Government can introduce an act which lay down rules for the reduction and prevention of traffic noises. Other than that, studies found that the road surface also contribute in the rise of the noise pollution. Government need to consider this through the improvement to the existing road surface in our country. However, if the reassessment reveals that the noise standard has been exceeded in traffic, responsible authority need to take abatement measurement such as installing the noise barriers. Government can also take measures to ensure correct noise management and reduce noise pollution. For example, protecting certain areas such as part of countryside and city parks from the noise. Regulations should be made that include preventive and corrective measures to foster the suppression of residential areas from noise sources such as airport. As citizens, there are many ways can be taken to reduce noise pollution in our country, as this is one of alarming issues faced by many countries. It is important for our country to remain free from uncontrolled noise pollution. As citizens, we can use proper lubrication and better maintenance for our machines and engines to reduce noise pollution. Today, there are many citizens that prefer to use private transportation to go wherever they want. However, the usage of this transportation will increase the noise pollution in our environment. To overcome this issue, citizens can take approach by using a proper lubrication and better maintenance for our machine and engines. As we know, machine and engine emit noise when in use. With the right use of lubricating oil, this will directly reduce the noise from our machines. The other method can be taken by the citizen to overcome noise pollution is planting more trees in our place. According to a study, trees are good noise absorbent as it can reduce noise by 5 to 10 dB around them. Trees reduce noise through a phenomenon called sound attenuation, which is a decrease in sound intensity. Other than that, tree planting by citizens in urban areas will lead to more peaceful environment. It is because noise from wildlife attracted to urban trees such as birds and insects also mask the noise disturbance. This included private organizations that run their business or processes that related to the release of noise to the environment, such as industry development activities that contribute to the development of our country. Even though there are many rules and regulations laid down by the government to this private organization involved in this industry, there are also some ways can be taken by this private organization to overcome the noise pollution. Construction activities also the contributors for the noise pollution in Malaysia, as this process require a lot of machine uses and heavy construction vehicles that release loud sound. There are two types of noise control in construction activity, which are engineering control and administrative control. In continuous, the approach can be taken to reduce noise pollution in construction activities is take noise into account during planning phase. This can be achieved by choosing a device that reduces the level of noise and limiting design flow that can amplify the noise. Finally, the use of absorbing material to reduce construction noise. Materials such as metal, woods, and concrete are materials that reflect the sounds. Example of sound-absorbing materials such as carpet, foam padding, and fiberglass insulation can be placed on the floor, ceilings, or walls to help reduce sound reverberations.
Hi and Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Daniel RAKHIM and I will be presenting on the recommendation from other countries on reducing noise pollution. Environmental noise pollution happens in every country in the world. Therefore, there are a lot of ways and solutions made by each country to overcome or reduce the environmental noise pollution according to their own problems and solutions. There are a few of recommendations that comes from other countries that we can take a look and mix as an example that can be used in our country. The first country is United States of America. In United States of America, environmental noise pollution have been a serious issue to the country. So, the country sets an approach which recommends us to use source control through a direct regulation. Direct regulation here means it will set the maximum emissions level for noise sources, and is the only intervention that ensures to reduce public exposure. According to Net Promoter Score or NPS, which supports a proven strategy and source reduction is the most cost effective. In United States of America, they have many evidence of great potential for this approach. So it wouldn't be any problem if we try to make it as our approach in our country. As an example, in the annual US air traffic noise exposure, it goes up more than 65 dBA LDN, and it have declined significantly from 4% of the population since 1981 to 0.015% in 2007, and that is a lot of reduce in number of percentage. Other than that, the direct source regulation has a basic regulatory framework which follows the NCA or Noise Control Act of 1972, which give US EPA authority to regulate noise made by construction equipment, transportation equipment, or any motor or engine, and also electrical or electronic equipment. Therefore, humans generally lack control over large noise sources. The modifying the informational environment can only give modest noise reduction without source control. Several interventions, on the other hand, have the ability to significantly modify the information of the environment. Next, we go to the second country, which is Italy. Other than that, Italy also came up with an alternative and methods on reducing noise pollution in its country that we can take and use in Malaysia, because Italy have been facing noise pollution issue since 2008. So, Italy came out with a project called LIFE. One of the projects that are presented on LIFE by Italy is HASH, which stands for Life Harmonization of Urban Noise Reduction Strategies for Homogeneous Action Plans. The primary goal of this project is to contribute to the harmonization of national noise management rules and regulation with the European Directive. This decree refers to the assessment and management of environmental noise, beginning with the completion of research and intervention in Florence, which is being used as the pilot case. The common approach for planning specific and strategic solutions have been specified, where a new development system such as procedures and data banks have been identified for planning action through pilot case testing. Other than that, Italy also launched a project called Noise Abatement Demonstrative and Innovative Actions, or NADIA, where this project involved the province of Genoa and Savona. It is because the noise of the most provincial roads has been verified within the provinces of Genoa, Savona, and within the urban center of the town of Vicenza. So basically, Nadia is just a plan to reduce noise pollution in the urban areas, which we in Malaysia are facing that kind of noise pollution issues in Kuala Lumpur itself as the center of the city. So I think Nadia is a good plan or actions that can be used or refer to be developed to our country. Moreover, a recovery pilot intervention are distributed like installation of barriers, laying of sound-absorbing asphalt, installation of high-performing and soundproofing windows in school. All of these recovery pilot intervention are installed by Italy to help reduce the emissions of noise level directly towards the people living nearby. So Italy, we all know that noise pollution is harmful to human body. So this recovery pilot intervention is actually good to help the emission of noise levels so that it won't directly hit the human body. Third, we will be looking into Republic of China. One of the recommendations to reduce and control noise pollution that can be seen in China is to focus on planning and design. In China, a country that are overpopulation, the noise pollution issue is rising highly and are concerning to the government of China. So, the government of China decided to make a relevant law on urban and rural planning and focus on planning and design of the country. The urban planning system are divided into 4 main levels, which is the general planning, the district planning, the regulatory detail planning, and the construction detail planning. The overall system planning is inadequate and are not supported by the environmental protection departments, resulting in the heavy traffic noise pollution in the country. The government of China realized that because of the overpopulation of people in China, they need to properly structure their country so that the noise pollution won't be happening in places that are crowded with people, and maybe it will only be happening on the highway or open road. The country targeted that the noise pollution can be reduced if the town planning is structured properly. So when the system is structured properly, the noise pollution can be detected in an early stage, and it allows the country to take action directly to the roots of the problem. Normally, the prevention of noise pollution can be detected in the level of general planning, which is the first level of urban planning system. So it requires the government administrator and the building developer to coordinate with each other and control the noise pollution in the most comprehensive ways. In the other hand, another recommendation to control noise pollution from China is to strengthen the management measures. Every country will have its own management measures, and China also have its own management measure. As an example of management measure in China is there is no tooting zones, speed limit regulations, traffic calming zones, and many more. China government suggested that all of the management measures should be strengthened in order to get better results in controlling the noise pollution. When the management measures are strengthening, the people of China are then the main factor to make it a successful idea by complying to the management measure. In the previous recommendation, it was the government administrator and also the developers should work hand in hand to help make the plan successful. But for management measures, it's the people itself that will help the management measures to be successful. In Malaysia, we can follow the mentioned recommendation to be implied in our country to control the noise pollution. The reason is because Malaysia faces the same issue and problem as China does. The recommendation done by China is a good example to be inspired with, and it will help the country to reduce and control the noise pollution. Same goes to Malaysia.
Conclusion, noise pollution can happen at anywhere and maybe not all people will face it. Even we often fail to notice the situation of noise pollution, we need to remember that noise also can be one of the pollution that can happen, especially in megacities in the countries. People need to take this problem seriously because noise pollution can give a bad impact to us, especially in terms of health. With all the efforts that has been done by the government, we as a citizens, we need to follow rules and the regulation that has been established by the government, including the policy regarding to the noise pollution. By joining the program that done by the government as well as by non-government organisation NGO regarding to the prevention of noise pollution, this will help people to know about the effect of noise pollution and also gain more knowledge on how to assist country to overcome this problem. From that, we need to be responsible to recognize what activities that we do will not affect people, because when people feel disturbed in terms of sound from activities that we do, it will consider as noise pollution.